Life has a way of convincing us that balance is the ultimate key to happiness and success. Everywhere you look, people are chasing balance as if it's a golden scale you can adjust to perfection. Work-life balance, a balance between ambition and relaxation, a balance between giving and receiving. We hear it constantly, and we're led to believe that if we just juggle everything evenly, our lives will be ideal. But here's the truth. Balance is often an illusion, a seductive idea that keeps us busy chasing equality in every corner of our lives while our real potential remains untapped. What we truly need is focus. Focus is what allows ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results. Think of a magnifying glass under the sun. Light scattered across the sky does nothing, but when it is concentrated through a single lens, it has the power to ignite fire. Similarly, when we try to spread our attention evenly across 10 projects, countless responsibilities, and endless distractions, we create busyness without progress. But when we focus, when we channel our energy, thought, and effort toward one meaningful objective, the momentum generated is exponential. You see, success isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things and giving them the intensity they deserve. Consider the lives of people we admire, innovators, artists, leaders. They didn't achieve greatness because they were perfectly balanced. They succeeded because they were deeply focused on their craft, their mission, or their vision. Steve Jobs didn't split his attention evenly across a dozen industries. He focused obsessively on creating intuitive products that changed the world. Serena Williams didn't balance her tennis practice with countless other hobbies at the same intensity. She focused relentlessly on her training, honing her skills until she became a legend. Focus allows you to become the best version of yourself in the area that matters most, and it's the engine that drives progress, innovation, and transformation. The danger of chasing balance is that it dilutes your power. When you try to give equal energy to everything, you end up giving insufficient energy to what actually matters. Your career, your relationships, your personal growth, they all require investment, and none can thrive on half-hearted attention. Focus is not about neglecting other areas. It's about prioritizing what will produce the greatest impact in your life and giving it your full attention. Think of a laser beam cutting through metal. The light doesn't attempt to illuminate the entire room. It concentrates on one spot and achieves what a scattered light could never do. That's the essence of focus. Focus also brings clarity. When you spread yourself thin, decisions become harder, priorities blur, and confusion takes hold. But when you focus, you see the path ahead clearly. You recognize which actions matter, which relationships are essential, and which habits propel you toward your goals. Clarity and focus are inseparable. One feeds the other. Once your attention is fixed on what truly matters, distractions fade. Social media noise, unsolicited opinions, minor inconveniences, all of it loses its power over you. Your mind, once fragmented, becomes a weapon of precision. Moreover, focus transforms your habits into results. We all have routines, but not all routines produce progress. Routine without focus is like a car engine running in neutral. It makes noise but goes nowhere. Focus aligns your actions with your purpose. Each decision, each habit, each effort becomes a deliberate step toward a larger goal. Slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, the results compound. Before you know it, the power of concentrated effort manifests in ways that amaze even yourself. It's important to understand that focus is a skill, not an innate talent. It can be cultivated, strengthened, and refined. Start by identifying your top priorities and commit to them with discipline. Eliminate or delegate what does not serve your objective. Create boundaries that protect your energy and attention. Train your mind to resist the seductive pull of multitasking and fleeting distractions. Every great achiever throughout history learned the art of saying a no to the non-essential so that they could say an emphatic yes to what truly mattered. Finally, focus fuels momentum. Progress is addictive when you experience it, and focus is the fuel that keeps the engine running. When your energy is scattered, progress is slow, inconsistent, and discouraging. But when you concentrate on a single meaningful pursuit, momentum builds and effort becomes easier. Challenges are no longer obstacles. They become opportunities to strengthen your resolve. The more you focus, the more doors open, the more clarity you gain, and the closer you move toward achieving your vision. So remember this. Life does not reward those who chase perfect balance. It rewards those who focus on the things that matter most. Energy, time, and attention are finite resources. Invest them wisely, and the results will be extraordinary. Focus is the key that transforms busyness into productivity, distraction into clarity, and potential into achievement. Every great dream, every meaningful accomplishment begins with a single, unwavering focus. We live in an age where being busy is worn like a badge of honor. People proudly say they're juggling 10 things at once, answering emails while eating, scrolling while listening, planning tomorrow while halfway through today. Multitasking has been glorified as a sign of intelligence and efficiency, but in reality, it's one of the most subtle enemies of real achievement. Being busy is not the same as being productive, and doing many things at once often means doing none of them well. Focus is what separates motion from progress, noise from results, and effort from excellence. When you multitask, your attention fractures. Your mind jumps from one task to another, never fully committing to any single one. This constant switching drains mental energy, reduces creativity, and increases mistakes. You may feel productive because you're constantly in motion, but at the end of the day, very little of true value has been created. Focus, on the other hand, brings depth to your work. It allows you to immerse yourself completely, to think clearly, and to operate at your highest level. 1 hour of deep, focused effort often produces more results than an entire day of distracted activity. Success has never been about doing more things. It has always been about doing fewer things better. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who chase every opportunity, but the ones who commit deeply to the right opportunities. Focus demands discipline because it requires you to say no to distractions, no to unnecessary commitments, no to things that look urgent but aren't important. Saying no is uncomfortable, but it's also powerful. Every no you say to the wrong thing is a yes to the right thing, and that yes compounds over time. Focus transforms effort into mastery. When you give your full attention to a skill, a craft, or a goal, you begin to see nuances others miss. You refine your abilities, strengthen your judgment, and develop confidence rooted in competence. Multitasking keeps you at the surface level of everything, while focus allows you to dive deep and build something meaningful. That depth is where excellence lives. That depth is where value is created. And value is always rewarded. There is also a psychological cost to multitasking that many people overlook. When your attention is scattered, your mind feels cluttered. Stress increases, clarity disappears, and even simple decisions begin to feel overwhelming. Focus simplifies your mental world. When you know exactly what you're working on and why, your mind becomes calmer and more decisive. You stop reacting to everything around you and start responding intentionally. This shift alone can dramatically change how you experience your work and your life. Focus is not about intensity all the time. It's about intentionality. It's about choosing one meaningful task and giving it your full presence. It's about working with purpose instead of panic. When you focus, you stop chasing the illusion of productivity and start building real progress. Small, focused actions repeated consistently outperform sporadic bursts of unfocused effort every single time. Progress may feel slower at first, but it's steadier, stronger, and far more sustainable. One of the greatest myths is that focus limits your freedom. In truth, focus creates freedom. When you concentrate your efforts, you achieve results faster, which gives you more time, more options, and more control over your life. Distraction keeps you trapped in a cycle of busyness, while focus moves you forward. Focus is not restriction, it is direction. It tells your energy where to go, and when energy has direction, it becomes unstoppable. Learning to focus requires practice in a world designed to distract you. Notifications, opinions, comparisons, and constant demands will always compete for your attention. Focus means choosing not to give everything access to your mind. It means protecting your attention like a valuable asset, because it is. What you focus on grows. If you focus on distractions, distractions multiply. If you focus on progress, progress accelerates. At its core, focus is a decision. A decision to stop scattering your potential and start concentrating it. A decision to move from activity to achievement. A decision to stop confusing motion with meaning. Right? When you replace multitasking with focused effort, everything changes. The quality of your work improves, your confidence strengthens, and your results finally begin to match your ambitions. Focus doesn't just make you more productive, It makes you more powerful. Here is the expanded version of the third keynote, crafted to be about 800 words, flowing, motivational, and gripping from start to finish, with no headings and no formal ending words. Most people believe their biggest problem is lack of time, lack of resources, or lack of opportunity. But the real problem is often lack of focus. Dreams don't fail because they're too big. They fail because attention is too small and too scattered. Your goals don't need more hours in the day. They need more presence in the moment. Focus is what turns vague wishes into clear direction and clear direction into real progress. Without focus, even the most talented person drifts. With focus, even average ability can produce extraordinary outcomes. When you focus, something powerful happens inside your mind. Confusion begins to fade, noise quiets down, and priorities rise to the surface. Suddenly, decisions that once felt overwhelming become simple. You know what matters and what doesn't. You stop reacting to every situation and start responding with intention. Focus aligns your thoughts, your actions, and your emotions in one direction, and that alignment creates momentum. Momentum is what carries people through obstacles, doubt, and fatigue. And many people wait for motivation to act, but focus works the other way around. Focus creates motivation. When you give your full attention to one meaningful task, progress becomes visible and progress fuels enthusiasm. Small wins begin to stack up and confidence grows naturally. Distraction, on the other hand, kills motivation. When effort is scattered, results or inconsistency breeds frustration. Focus replaces frustration with forward movement. Focus also sharpens your standards. When your attention is divided, mediocrity sneaks in unnoticed. But when you're fully engaged, you begin to care about quality. You notice details, you raise your expectations of yourself. Focus pushes you to ask better questions, make better choices, and deliver better results. Excellence is not an accident. It is the result of focused effort repeated over time. One of the greatest benefits of focus is how it simplifies life. Complexity often comes from trying to do too much at once. Focus removes unnecessary clutter. It helps you identify what truly deserves your energy and what can be delayed, delegated, or discarded. Life doesn't become easier because there are fewer challenges. It becomes easier because you're no longer wasting energy on things that don't move you forward. Focus turns chaos into clarity. When you focus, discipline becomes easier. Discipline without focus feels like punishment. Discipline with focus feels purposeful. You understand why you're doing what you're doing. So resistance weakens. Sacrifices stop feeling like losses and start feeling like investments. Every focused effort becomes a statement of commitment to your future. You're no longer just working hard. You're working with meaning. Focus also strengthens resilience. When challenges arise, a focused mind doesn't panic. It adapts. It looks for solutions instead of excuses. Distraction magnifies problems. Focus reduces them to manageable steps. A focused person doesn't need everything to go perfectly. They just need to keep moving in the right direction. This ability to stay centered, even under pressure, is what separates those who quit from those who endure. In a world that constantly pulls your attention in every direction, focus becomes a competitive advantage. While others are chasing trends, opinions, and comparisons, a focused individual is quietly building skills, relationships, and results. Focus protects your confidence from comparison and your vision from doubt. When you know what you're working toward, other people's paths lose their power to distract you. Ultimately, focus is an act of self-respect. It's a decision to take your life seriously enough to give your best energy to your best opportunities. It's choosing depth over distraction, progress over perfection, and purpose over popularity. Focus doesn't demand perfection. It demands commitment. When you commit fully to what matters, results have no choice but to follow. Focus is the force that turns intention into action, action into habit, and habit into destiny. Here is a powerful, emotionally charged conclusion written in the same Jim Rohn inspired tone, designed to leave the audience motivated, alert, and ready to act. Stop chasing balance as if life were a fragile scale that might tip at any moment. Life doesn't reward those who try to evenly distribute their attention. It rewards those who decide what truly matters and go all in. You don't rise by doing a little of everything. You rise by committing deeply to something meaningful. It's about direction. It's about direction. When your direction is clear, your energy stops leaking and starts building. Decide today where your focus belongs. Not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, not when distractions disappear. Decide now, because every day you delay focus, your potential pays the price. Your goals are waiting for your attention, not your excuses. Your future is not asking for balance. It is demanding commitment. When you focus, your confidence grows. When you focus, your discipline strengthens. When you focus, progress becomes visible and momentum becomes unstoppable. The world will always try to divide your attention, but greatness belongs to those who protect it. Choose focus over comfort. Choose depth over distraction. Choose purpose over popularity. You don't need more time. You don't need more resources. You don't need perfect balance. You need focus. And once you give your best energy to your best opportunity, everything else begins to fall into place.